Welcome back to the Lifetime Miami Marathon and Half Marathon. As our leaders make their way along the iconic South Beach, here we are on Ocean Drive. The support of thousands of volunteers at the water stops along the way. And as we approach the 5-mile mark, they're just a little over 5 minutes per mile. So holding the pace, GP.
Yeah, it looks like George Tuet is, I mean, he's definitely the aggressor in the race, David. Number 105 there. He's definitely aggressive, but you know, his counterpart there, 106, Edward Tabut, is hanging in there. I mean, they'll throw these Kenyans, they like to surge and attack.
How common is it in a prize money road race of marathon, half marathon distance that in a half marathon, at this point at 5 miles, you have 2 men battling it out?
Oh no, it's very common. It's very, very common for sure. Usually, actually, you end up with a slightly larger pack of 5 or 6 guys, but no, not uncommon at all. This is actually very interesting. It's like a prize fight. You see mano a mano like this, one-on-one.
On their left, of course, the clubs and the Art Deco hotels that define what South Beach is. On the right, the Atlantic Ocean, ready to greet thousands and thousands of people on a beautiful Sunday in Miami. But right now, Lifetime Miami Half Marathon. As our leaders continue through the streets of Miami Beach, GP, I know you were out there yesterday to help kick off race weekend at the Tropical 5K.
Well, here I am down on the MacArthur Causeway, heading from Miami Beach to South Beach for the Miami Tropical 5K 2014 edition. Some 2,500 runners behind me. Ages range from preschool. I spoke to some folks from the Run for Education program, which is great. Have a preschooler in there, to runners up in the 70s and beyond. Conditions right now about 72 degrees this morning. The humidity is not too bad, better than it has been the last couple of days. So just absolutely fantastic to see how this race has grown. It is the prequel, of course, for the Lifetime Miami Half Marathon and Marathon, which will have some 25,000 plus runners taking place in that race. I'm sure some of these runners behind me are using today as a warm-up as well, and they'll be ready to go tomorrow. So they'll be heading down to Nikki Beach, and it is a fantastic day down here at the Miami Tropical 5K 2014 edition.
A lot of our marathoners use the Tropical 5K as a warm-up for the Lifetime Miami Marathon. And yesterday's 5K winner, Miami's Brian Sharkey, is one of the top local favorites in the half marathon. Congratulations to our women's Tropical 5K champion, 47 years young Elizabeth Sepsius, still has plenty of speed. The Tropical 5K attracts runners of all ages, so your entire family is out here to participate.
I've been running since ever, just like I haven't really been running serious, but I've been running like since ever.
Well, you seem pretty serious. Let's talk about, first of all, congratulations on the 5K and your medal. That's awesome. Talk to me about the half marathon tomorrow. What are you thinking? What's your thoughts on the half marathon tomorrow?
Well, first, my goal is to finish it, and I just want to have fun.
Soy de Loja, Ecuador.
Very nice to meet with you. How was the race today? How did you enjoy the race? How are the conditions for you today?
¿Cómo estaban las condiciones? ¿Cómo le gustó la carrera?
Una hermosa carrera. Felicitaciones a los organizadores por esa administración que prácticamente llega a la excelencia. Les felicito. He corrido en algunos países, pero a mí me parece muy optimizante la organización.
Crossing over 17th Street here on Washington. If the runners were to look to their left, this was the scene over here at the Miami Beach Convention Center, the scene of the Nissan Health and Fitness Expo presented by the Miami Herald and El Nuevo Herald. Took place the last 2 days, where the 25,000 plus participants at the 2014 Lifetime Marathon and Half Marathon came. Packet pickup, vendors, and there were even some people there talking. You were there doing your usual thing. What was the crowd like over at the expo?
Huge crowds this year, especially yesterday on the Saturday, and excellent vendors, races from all around the world. people, you can go there and you can find every possible piece of equipment and apparel. These are the things that have changed in the last 10 years now, David. From water, different kinds of ways you can carry water and fluids to energy gels to apparel, different sun visors. I mean, everything. And some really good lectures taking place as well.
As we make our way through mile 7, just right on that 5-minute per mile pace, and you can see the race has changed a bit. Tebbout has just increased his foot speed just enough that he's picked up a gap of about 50 yards or so.
Yeah, Tebbout initially didn't do anything. He was just maintaining that sort of 5-minute cadence, and all of a sudden, George Towett just couldn't hang on to that pace. Got about a 10-meter gap on him, and Tebbout just looked back, and as soon as he saw the gap open, then he put the hammer down, because it's like, you smell blood and you went for it.
As Tebbout begins a solo journey towards the finish line, let's check in with Lee Zolman, who's back with the crowds.
Dave and GP, here we are, world famous Ocean Drive. This is what makes South Beach so famous, this patch of road right here. But I'll tell you, this kind of race here today is so difficult because of the humidity. You can see the sweat pouring off of the runners here. What an unbelievable event. 25,000 plus runners here. Great support from American Airlines, Baptist Health, and of course, City of Miami Beach. Back to you guys in the truck.
A longtime partner, Publix Supermarkets, a beautiful sort of Art Deco type store here on Miami Beach at the conclusion of the Publix Mile. Making their way through mile 8, Edward Tebbout, again our established leader, looking to take a little detour underneath the misters. That's interesting. You wouldn't expect your elites to take that opportunity.
It's, again, sitting here on the truck, we don't feel the warmth, but I'm sure he's feeling the humidity more than the warmth. Took an opportunity to take a little car wash going through there. Cool off a little bit.
Edward Tebbout in the very dominant lead right now here at the conclusion of our Publix Mile. The Lifetime Miami Marathon and Half Marathon is brought to you by Publix, where shopping is a pleasure, and by Baptist Health South Florida, healthcare that cares.
Store can tell you about saving. At Publix, we love to show you how to save more. Check out our weekly ad, full of savings. Buy one, get one free? How awesome is that? BOGO, BOGO, BOGO. Savings, 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 savings everywhere. Plus, we're really coupon friendly, so you know you'll be saving like a champ. Coupon here, here. It just takes a little planning. You love to shop here? You'll love to save here. Come on, let's go save some money. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Welcome back to the Lifetime Miami Marathon and Half Marathon. One of my favorite scenes on the Lifetime Miami Marathon, Half Marathon course is, of course, the Venetian Causeway. It's beautiful for many reasons. The light of day is just starting to make its way 44 minutes into the race. GP, right now, it's all Edward Tebbout all the time. Let's learn a little bit more about our current Lifetime Half Marathon leader.
A true legitimate Kenyan runner, 2:14 marathoner. He runs for the very, very respected what's called the American Running Club. They're based out of Santa Fe, New Mexico. So he's a man that trains at altitude. I'm sure he's enjoying these sea level conditions right now, and he looks very comfortable. 30 years old, cruising along mile 8, mile 9 on the gorgeous Venetian Causeway. He knows that all he's got to do is maintain. This race is his it's already won. He's just got to keep rolling along, and I don't see any reason why that's not going to happen.
Edward Tabut, our man in the front. As Edward Tabut seems to have victory in hand at the Lifetime Miami Marathon, we've dropped back to have a look at our leaders in the marathon. We are in the express lane at the toll plaza of the Venetian Causeway. This is our first shot, except early on, of our leaders in the Lifetime Marathon. Who do we have, GP?
We have Julius Chogi out there in front, and he is definitely in the express lane. Julius is a 23. He's a very young man from Kenya. And I believe that is Samuel Molakwin behind him, also from Kenya as well, even younger, at 21 years young. So two young guys in the express lane on the Venetian Causeway.
No tolls necessary, and you can see by their interplay, maybe one is not that happy, the other has not stepped up to keep the pace going, perhaps?
Haven't we seen that over the years, Dave, where, you know, one guy's doing all the work, he's the aggressor, and they get a little frustrated if the guy's just sitting drafting. They don't mind the guy drafting behind him, as long as maybe every quarter mile or so they trade off and help each other. But if they don't, if they just sit back there and catch a ride, it's not much fun for the guy who's pushing the pace.
Edward Tabut has hit the tape at the Lifetime Miami Half Marathon, 1:06:45, a comfortable victory for the 30-year-old Kenyan. George Towett hangs in there for second place, 1:08:30.
Our second overall finisher in the 2014 Lifetime Miami Marathon and Half Marathon. That was George Towett from Hebron, Kentucky.
This year at the Lifetime Miami Marathon, more music along the course than ever helps to keep all the athletes, whether there are leaders here of the Lifetime Marathon or the thousands of age group athletes behind them, keeps them motivated, keeps them excited. Our good friends from Baptist Health South Florida, not only providing great medical support here at the race, but providing lots of encouragement and motivation along the way as our two leaders, Chogi and Molakwin, make their way through mile 11. Back to the finish line at the Lifetime Miami Half Marathon. And in third place, that's Cesar Cedeno, our first Floridian.
Cedeno from Desamparados, Florida.
And in fourth, Richard Jones.
Richard Jones. Nice job, Richard.
Fifth place, 1:12:19, first Miami runner. Congrats to Dan Smith. Our leaders through mile 12 is the main part of downtown Miami to the runners left. And GP, let's talk a little bit about form and style. Our two leaders, Chogi and Molakwin, with distinctly different styles.
Julius Chogi with his right arm very, very close to his torso. His hands are kind of high. Molakwin a little bit lower with the hands, is a little bit more relaxed. Or a little bit more smoother in his style, for sure. He definitely looks, would you agree that he definitely looks smoother in the way he runs? Molakwin in second place right now?
Yeah, and I think the presumption is that the smoother runner is the more capable runner, but I don't think that's the case at all, is it?
It doesn't always work that way. It's so interesting. You certainly wouldn't teach a youngster to run exactly the way Julius Chogi is. It's not exactly textbook, but it certainly works for him.
It certainly does as they make their way towards the halfway point of the 2014 Lifetime Miami Marathon.
Good job. You're good. Vamos, Argentina.
Lifetime Miami Marathon and Half Marathon is brought to you by Michelob Ultra. The Ultra Life is in the living. And by the Miami Herald and El Nuevo Herald.